He would never even be very rich, since most of the family fortune would go to his older brothers. Captain Cedric knew this, but it didn't matter to him. He was a kind young man and very handsome. He was also brave and generous. Everyone loved him. His older brothers were not handsome or kind or smart. They wasted their time and money and had very few real friends. The Earl's 2 older sons were a disappointment. They embarrassed him. His heirs were not an honor to his noble name. The Earl thought it was the worst of luck that his 3rd son had all the gifts. The beauty and the charm, the smarts, these should have gone to the son who would one day become Earl of Dorincourt. On his 3rd son, these qualities were wasted. The Earl hated comparing his 3rd son to the older brothers. His presence was a constant reminder of their failures, and so the Earl sent his 3rd son far away, to America. That way the old Earl wouldn't have to see him and be reminded of his other son's faults. 6 months passed, and the Earl became lonely. He didn't say it out loud, but he missed his youngest son. He wrote Captain Cedric a letter and asked him to come home. At the same time, Captain Cedric wrote his father a letter. He told him of the sweet, pretty American girl he wanted to marry. He asked his father for his blessing, but he didn't get it. When the Earl received the letter, he was furious. For a whole hour he raged around his castle like a tiger. Then he sat down and wrote a nasty response. Captain Cedric was never to come home again. He was not to write his father or his brothers. He could live however he wanted. He could die wherever he wanted. He would be cut off from his family forever, and he would never get help from his father for as long as he lived. The captain was heartbroken. At first he didn't know what to do. He had no work experience, but he did have courage, and he wouldn't give up. He soon found a job in New York and married the girl he loved. His new life was very difficult from the one he had known in England, but he was young and full of hope. He rented a small, humble house on a quiet street. It was a happy home. It was where he lived with his new wife and where his son was born. The captain was never once sorry for what he did. His little boy, Cedric, was sweet and charming. He had curly golden hair and big brown eyes with impossibly long eyelashes. He was very handsome. The boy was also friendly and well-mannered. When he was out on the street, he smiled at strangers and looked them straight in the eye. He talked to everyone, asking after their business, their health, and their family. People found him to be quite amusing. His great friend was the grocery man on the corner, Mr. Hobbs, who was known as the grumpiest man around. But Cedric could make even Mr. Hobbs smile. Cedric had a kind heart and was quick to understand other people's feelings. This may have been because he never heard a mean word at home. He had always been loved and treated tenderly. He had always heard his mamma called by pretty, loving names, and so he used them himself when he spoke to her. And he had always seen his papa watch over his mamma, so he made sure to take good care of her too. So, when Cedric learned that his papa wasn't coming back, and he saw how sad Dearest was, he knew that he needed to make her happy. He climbed up on her knees, kissed her, and put his head on her shoulder. He brought her toys and picture books to show her. When she lay down on the sofa, he curled up quietly at her side until she woke up and talked with him again. He was a greater comfort to her than he realized. "Oh, Mary," he heard her say once to her faithful housekeeper and maid, "I know he's trying to help me. He looks at me sometimes with this curious little look as if he knows how my heart feels, as if he is sorry for me. Then he shows me something to put my mind on other things. He's such a little man already." Cedric always acted older than his years. He learned to read when he was very little. He would lie on the rug in the evenings and read aloud, sometimes stories and other times big books that grown-ups would read. Sometimes he even read the newspaper. Cedric didn't know what all the big words meant, but he sounded them out and asked for help with the strangest spellings. He was especially interested in politics. Dearest and Mary would laugh in delight at the funny things he would say. Mary was fond of Cedric. She had been helping his mother ever since he was born. She was proud of how graceful he was and of his fine manners. She especially adored his